Hello there and welcome back to my hobby bench. My name is Ken and today we're going to continue working on the Tamiya 1/48 scale M1A2 Abrams. So let's get started into making that turret. So as you can see here, I've removed the top of the turret here, and it does have the connection points again that have the extra little bit of sprue attachment point on the bottom. I have cleaned the other, there are 4 and I've cleaned the other 3 off. So we're gonna come in here and just take it off nice and close to the side of the turret, like that. And then I'm just gonna come in here and just gently remove off from that direction. And I can come in here and take that down a little bit too, and then just sand it down. You just kind of want to get it so that part doesn't stand up anymore. You can see there's still a little bit left on the side, so I'll come in with a skinny stick. Just kind of tidy it up a bit more. Not hard, just no downward pressure, just straight the friction going across. Now it looks good. So the directions here want us to put some holes in here for some of the equipment, I guess. So it's asking for a 1.2 millimeter drill bit, and here I have my 1.2 millimeter drill bit here in my pin vise, and I'm just going to look on the hull. You can see there's, oh well, catch it on camera. There we go. Use these little marks that are just there, and if I can find it right about here, if the light will catch it, somewhere about there, here, and that's where we want to drill the holes, and that's for both sides. So just grab my tool, the pin vise, and as you can see there's a little D-shaped piece here. That's the end of where the tow cable goes, and then our hole we drill is the next spot over right there. Okay, so get my pin vise set up. I'm just gonna right in there. Oh, there we go. And just drill a hole. Easier to say than it is to do on camera. So I'm going to bring it a little closer to me so I can see. Sorry. There we go. Get it started. And just in we go. You're not pushing much with force, you're just mostly doing the twisting, and the drill bit will kind of suck itself right in through there. There we go. That's it. That's how you use your pin vise. You got a hole, just like it was asking for. So I'm going to go ahead and drill out the other 3, and we'll come back and see where the next step takes us. So here we are at step 10. Step 10 has us mount the little piece that the crew commander can stand on, as well as it has you attach this vent or whatever this may be, and also it does mention here that there's those little extra tabs that need to be taken off that we dealt with on the previous step. Then further, it gets you to come to the bottom part of the turret, and we're going to attach the gun assembly here, which allows the barrel to go up and down. So what we'll do is we follow. It wants us to flip, so I should be flipped over like the directions have it. And then I can take this part B4 before we start. I'm going to dry fit it. And it looks like it's going to fit in there fairly nicely. So I take a little bit of my glue beforehand and just put it in there. Take my B4, hold it for a second or two, and there we go. It's stuck in place. If I need to, I can add a little bit more glue just to make sure. The capillary reaction will suck that glue right in under there. There we go. So there's that. Then I will take this little stand here for the crew commander. I'll put a little glue in there. I'll find its attachment point, which is right here. It has kind of a key shape to it. Just right there. As well as this part also has the key shape to it as well. So they'll match up. So I'm going to take some glue here as well. Just put a little bit down. And use my really big fingers to try and fit that there. There we go. And it's keyed in, so it should be roughly centered. I'm just going to use the glue again to really make sure it's in there well. There we go. Make sure I didn't mess up before I move on. There we go. That's the upper hull. Here we have our poly caps. The last two that we've been holding on to this entire time. There we go. Alright. So we're going to take our C9. C9 is the part that has the hole in it. C10 does not. We'll take C9. We'll put our poly cap in there. And we'll take C10. We'll put poly cap in there. There we go. Polycaps, you do not glue in the polycaps. They kind of mention it on the instructions here. For the polycap, they have the glue symbol with the cross out on it. So, next I'm going to examine the C13 part here where the barrel attaches. If you look carefully at the directions, it shows the one side is short and the other side is long. So I'm going to orientate that part there, like that, so I know I'm orientated. I'm going to take one piece first. I'm going to dry fit it in, make sure it's good. Yep. So here we go. Put a little bit of glue in there. And there we go. I can shore it up with a little bit more glue now. Just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. And I'm going to bring in this part here. This is my C13. And insert it. And I'll take this piece. I'm going to put a little glue there. I didn't dry fit this. I probably should have, but played a little loose. Okay. Just kind of line it up, push it into the poly cap, and it should be able to sit down in its little spot here. There we go. So we have both of them in. I'm going to shore it up again with some more glue. It's extra thin. I really like this glue. There we go. Once that's dried a bit, we'll be able to move this barrel attachment point up and down. And yeah, I like the way it's coming along here. So the next step is going to be, looks like assembling the gun mantle, or gun shield as they call it here. And they also mentioned the applying of a decal onto the loader's viewport, which we'll do after painting. It also has us glue down the top of the turret to the bottom of the turret. So let's start by attaching the top and the bottom of the turret. It's like that. Goes together really nicely. No real problems trying to fit it in. So I'm going to take my glue here. I'll zoom in a little bit more for you. There we go. Just tap it with the glue. You can see it just sucks it right down into those seams really nicely. There we go. And again, go to this side. Get it in there. Push it. There we go. We'll give her a little pressure here. You kind of see the glue can kind of seep out a little bit. Makes it almost seem like a little bit like a weld seam, which is not a bad thing for armor. Not so desired in aircraft modeling, but in armor you can get away with it. So again, we're gonna move to this side here. Let's tap our glue. Get down into the seams. Just remember to be careful if you do overspill glue that your fingers aren't in that area, because you could end up leaving some really nasty fingerprint marks. And you can trust me on that. I've done it many times, and I have a great amount of experience doing that. Put a little bit too much glue there. The good thing about this extra thin is it does evaporate. So there's our turret now, top and bottom all attached. We're going to move on to the gun shield. So I'm going to get those parts ready to go, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we have all our parts here for the gun shield area. I just have to clean them off. So you will get them up nice and close, and then just sand off the rest. Just like that. Same with the gun mantle, or I'm not sure what they want us to call it. I think it's a gun mantle, but for mantlet. Okay. There we go. A little bit more on that connection point, the sprue connection point. Here we go. That's a bit better. And there was one down here on the bottom. So again, I'll clean that off a bit, leaving just a little bit left behind for some easy sanding. There we go, nice and smooth. Just checking it over, make sure that I'm not missing anything, and it looks good. Now we have these curved pieces that have attachment points. So I'm gonna see how easy that can or might not be. So there we go, got as close as I dare. Now I would recommend using something like the skinny stick, as opposed to obviously it'd be easy, harder to make sure you're doing a good job with a larger sanding stick. So just like that. Alternatively, I've got a rounded file I could use, so it kind of has a rounded shape, and I can kind of move it in there without hopefully causing too much damage. So those are some of the options you could try. See how good this looks. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Just got a little bit more there. And remember, the sanding stick has 2 different grits for this one. So I'm using the coarser grit right now, and then kind of come in and finish it off with a finer grit. Just like that. One last piece to clean up. There we have it. Again, not pressing hard, just using the friction of the sandpaper to do the work. If you start pushing down, you start sanding through too much material, and it's easy to take off material, it's harder to put it back on. So there we go. There's all our parts. So it wants us to take C15 and so it looks like they're letting us know that that part here with the rivets is more to the bottom. So if I can pick up my pieces, okay, here we go. There's piece 7 like that. Oh, I'm going to take some of my Tamiya extra thin here. Sorry, I'm concentrating here as I'm trying to talk. Just like that. And then right away, even just that little bit of glue there kind of starts to hold it. And then I can, there we go. Drop some more in, spread it around, get it in those seams. There we have it. Next I'm going to add the top. I think is kind of what they're telling us. The top, is it going on the lip? Okay, the top's going to go on a little lip in here. So actually looks like I should be able to put the other side on first. So we'll add our extra thin again. Take our part, make sure the rivets are to the bottom. There we go. It's a little harder when you have bigger fingers. That's why I generally work with the larger scale 1/35 armor. Oh, not sticking. Let's try this. Let's try that again. We'll add a little bit of glue again. There we go. There we go. That's in there. Add a little bit more cement there. And then this piece here has a small flap side, which is actually goes up against the turret here. So that's actually going to be to the rear here, like that. That just fits there nicely. So I'm going to take a little bit of my extra thin, drop it in here in the seam. Push forward. There we go. Oh, got my finger stuck there. Here we go. See, you can end up with fingerprints if you're not careful. I'll take a little bit more of my extra thin and attach that top part. So there we have it. So that's all done. That completes step 11. So I'm gonna get the parts ready for part 12 here, where step 12 is gonna have us assemble our barrel, add the coaxial machine gun, and it looks like the side storage bustles, and attach the barrel. Okay, so I'm gonna get some parts ready and I'll come back and we'll begin on step 12. So here we have our parts are all cleaned off now. So we're going to start assembling the rest of the turret. So we have our barrel, and our barrel actually has a seam line on it. Barely visible, but it is there. So we could take our soft sanding sponge here and sand around there, the end of the barrel, or sorry, this end of the barrel, just to get rid of that seam. There we go, and we'll do the same to the other side. Just lightly. I don't want to cause any damage to these details over here. There we have it. So now we're going to take our pieces here. This is piece 33 and 32, B32 and B33. And if we look carefully, it looks like I have them. Okay, so I'll take this one here and put it on the far side. Now, there is a keyed point, which is, you can see it right here, as well as one on the other side, and a spot for that keyed piece right in there. So it'll help you keep it in the right place. So it's the right side up when you have your barrel completed and mounted on the tank. So let's put a little bit of glue there just to tack it in place. I'll take the next one. And again, put that there. And we'll put some glue in there for some capillary action. There we go. Do the same to the other side. Now the keen-eyed among you might notice I still have a little bit of a sprue attachment point mark here. I did that on purpose because now that it's together and it's rounded, I can sand it off. Had I been sanding it when it was not attached, I may have accidentally gone down and caused a bit of a depression on the pieces, and there'd be a valley in between the two. So there's that. Next we have the end of our barrel right here, and you can see it's kind of got a bit of a D shape, as well as it has it on the end of this end of the barrel. So we should be able to put it there and it should key in. It does. So now that I've dry fitted it, I'll put a little bit of glue in there like that. And slot it into place. There we go. And finally, we have our, I don't know if this is some sort of bore sighting device or what it is, but this is going to go on the very end of the barrel. Now I'm going to look at the detail closely. You can see it's more the rounded side here with a flat face, and this back side will be has the sloped end. And if you look closely at the piece, I know it's going to be hard for me to show you on this camera. I don't know if it's even possible or not, but if my camera will cooperate with the zoom function, I don't know. You can look at the part. You can see this end has the, that end had the slope side and this end was more the flat side. So we've kind of looked at that. Put that down there. Put a little glue in its position, just like that. I can take my tweezers. Okay. Figure out which way it's going to go. Use my tweezers and put the piece in place. Again, the quietness due to concentrating. I put it in backwards. Look at that. Okay, let's flip it around. There we go. That's a bit better. There we go. Just like that. So that's it for the barrel, by the looks of it. Now, if we go back to our gun shield here, there's a place here for a C11 part, which is kind of like a machine gun mount. I've seen 50 cal machine guns put on there. I've seen other items put on there for war games. So it should go in there like that, and it should be angled upwards, kind of like that. So, get my glue, put a little bit in there, get my piece. There we go. And that's it. That's in there. Now additionally, we take our coaxial machine gun. We already got the barrel drilled out, so that's nice. And we're gonna put it right here on the end of this point there. So we'll take a little glue, put it there, and there we go. Just make sure it's straightened out. Put a little bit more glue in there. There we go. There. And finally we'll take our barrel, and you can see it has this notched out area here on this side, and doesn't have a notched out area on this side. So that notched out area is going to fit in here, so it only fits on this one side. So if it's not lined up, it won't go in. But once you turn it and you get it in the right spot, Bob's your uncle. Although Gary is my uncle's name. And yeah, he's not Bob. Okay. I'm going to use a little bit of this white glue. There we go. And we have our barrel. Alright, that's my air compressor going off. Sorry about that. And we have parts C5 and C6. These are the bustle parts to hold equipment or whatever they have. I don't know if they have shovels in there or any other tools. So, we will dry fit it in place. It fits there good. We have our larger side here, smaller side here, larger side to the front. So we'll just set it in place. There it goes. And it fits perfectly. Let's take a little bit of our extra thin again. And go like that. That. There we go. We do the same thing here on the other side. Just fit it into place. Just like that. There we go. Let's tap it in. There we go. Just run a bead. That's it. The last piece they have us putting on is B14, which is this piece here that sits around the loader's hatch. It's for the loader's machine gun. It's painted here. They're asking for, I believe, an iron color, dark iron, or something similar to that. However, I'm going to leave this off for now, so that way I can paint the rest of the tank. I can paint this a different color separately, and then add it on later. So we'll put this in our pile of parts to be done later. So that is it for our step 12. When I come back, we'll move on to step 13, which looks to be a lot of our optics. So I'll be right back. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to attach the barrel. So, I'll do that right now. Just going to check, see if it fits on there. Yeah, it fits there, no problem. So I'm going to use some of my Tamiya white bottle glue. Again, the thicker stuff. Just put it right in there on that place. Again, I'll put some here on the face of that, and we'll attach them. There we go. Looks like I knocked out B11 here, that machine gun mount. So I'm just going to straighten that out before the glue completely dries. There we go. Okay, I'll be back again as promised with step 13. If I can get my camera to turn off. Okay, so here we are now with our optics. We have this round one here. Now you can see it's got several points here, so we have this little hole in here with which we can put in this little peg that's on here. And then this little shield will fit on this little place down on here. Oops, right there. Okay, so we'll take some of our extra thin, put it in these two places there. Go. Oh, there we go. Just like that. I'll throw a little extra glue in there just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to take a little extra glue. I'm going to put it in right there where this other piece is going to go. Just like that. There we go. That's that sensor, or that that's that optics right there. This one here, it does have on the instructions it wants you to put a decal right there. Obviously, we're going to do that after we're done painting. So we'll move this one over here, out of the way. And then we take a look at this optics here. So this one here, you have a couple options. You can pose it with the doors open. Here's your doors here. Or you can have the doors closed. If you have it open, you'll be able to see the optical windows on here, which as well will receive decals. If you want to do it closed, you don't have to worry about the decals then. So, I'm going to start off by checking my part here. Alright. So, you can kind of see the details here. These little extra circles here will go off to, well, the directions have me do it upside down. And the lip part to the bottom by the looks of it. I'm going to double check that. Yep, that's what it's having me do. So, we can drop this in place like that. Just going to take a closer look here. Just to see. Yeah, it won't go in upside down. So if you do try to put it in upside down, it will not go. So, put that in place. So I'm going to put some of my extra thin in there. There we go. There we go. Just like that. I'm going to choose to go with my doors open. So, you have parts C21 and C22 right here. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. A little bit out of focus, let me. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take my two parts. Now C21 is shorter and it has a little lip on it. Oh, how well you can see that. A little lip. And that's going to go over on this side. Right here. So, take a little bit of my glue. Oh. Oh. We'll put it in place, like that. Take our other one. Again, it's got hinges, they both have hinges, and the hinge side obviously goes into here. So, we'll spin this around, like that, add some glue, and add our hinge. Just like that. Flip it over. Now we have our optics here. I don't know if this is the gunner's sight, I believe. So that'll end up going over here later on. And this one will end up going here later on. So that's our optics done. Alright, so that's where we're going to leave it for today. I've managed to get the turret main body assembled. I got the barrel on it, and we've got our optics completed. Next time we come back, we'll be continuing on with our turret, adding the racks and the smoke dischargers, any other equipment that's going to be required to be on there. So, until next time, thanks for coming in to watch my video, and take care, and we'll see you next time.